YouTube! I am Pinstar, and this is Planetbase Strategy and Tactics, episode 23. So in our last episode, we acquired the patent to the massive solar panel, which we will be putting to use in the very near future. Basically, as soon as we need our next solar panel, we will be building them in massive scale. I'm not going to rip up all of my other solar panels, because the massive one is a bit bigger, and they probably won't fit there. And well, you all saw how it was when you delete a building that you might not be able to get all that space back. So I'm going to leave my solar panels that are present. Well, I'm going to leave them alone. But future solar panels will come in the massive variety. All right, our big large bot workshop is all built up. That is nice. Got our dorm almost finished. Visitors paying for their services. Excellent. Get that coin total back up after I dropped quite a wad on the patent in the last episode. But that's what the coins are there for. They are there for the patents. More so than just using it to buy goods. Alright, so our dorm should be ready. Oh yeah, we can turn back on our stuff now. Power is not an issue. I am going to keep this off more for the resource consumption than the power consumption. How are we on our semiconductor? Yeah, we're down to 6. Incoming transmission! Yes! Small group of injured miners. So this is what I was talking about. The whole distress beacon thing, making big bucks. This is where... Now, basically, this ship is like a visitor ship. But instead of wanting to just fart around the base, they are all going to come with a specific problem. In this case, broken bones, which is actually probably good. Now, I'm going to need to use up a whole bunch of medical supplies to treat them. However, they're going to pay me even money for that. So it's basically like trading your medical supplies away to a trader that has a 0% commission. That is extremely financially efficient. Okay, large dorm. Let's kit this thing out with beds. Did I do something wrong at some point? Did I mess something up? I should get another bed in there. Let's try that again. Start from the other side. Pardon. See if we can't get this accurate to the 9s. That's better. Sorry, that would have annoyed me immensely if I had left it like that. Yep, so this is why we built the larger medical bay, is because I knew we were going to have these massive waves of people needing to be treated. And so you need the extra beds for that. Now, not so much for the miners. They can mill around. They won't die. But there are sometimes when a bunch of irradiated people will come to your base. It actually kind of reminds me of Theme Hospital. In the later levels, when you have the emergency medevacs and you agree to them and a helicopter lands and it pours out with a whole ton of people with the exact same condition. You've got a set amount of time to cure them all in. It's very reminiscent of that. In this case, you know, as it is in Theme Hospital, it's big bucks if you can pull it off. But we got the medical supplies to spare to treat all these people. So they'll be on their way a lot faster than your average visitor ship, and they'll be paying me a whole heck of a lot more coins than your average visitor ship. That's why it's worth it to get the transmission interceptors. And it also gives all of our doctors something to do, to actually go and heal people en masse. What do we got here? Colony ship. Good. What am I ordering? Probably engineers. Yep, engineers. Good. Yeah, we've certainly got enough doctors to handle these sort of situations. Because these guys will be on their way pretty darn quickly. Yep, those are just the normal vanilla garden variety visitors. It'll give us a special message when we've cured all the miners and they've gone on their way. And more importantly, paid us the big bucks. Alright, good. I was about to say, speaking of mines, is this connector mine something that can actually be used? And then yes, it is. Oop, what do we got? Ooh, a trader. What do you have for me, my friend? Your friend? My friend? Our friends? Everyone's friends? What do we got? Bots. Alright, well, I could buy the constructor bot patent. What's your commission? 65. Not buying a patent off a 65% commission. Not that one. Not that patent anyway. A more important patent? Yeah. I would buy that off of the commission, but not the constructor bot one. That's an ancillary purchase. I mean, we are going to buy it eventually just to get the technology milestone, but not so much with it. Yeah, look at that. 200 coins! We got paid 200 coins. Which is basically, again, 0% commission selling our medical supplies for cash is essentially what that is. The only difference being is that they took up our beds for a little while and a couple of our doctors. Big whoop. So very much useful there. That's also why you want good heavy production of medical supplies. Okay. Alright, we are approaching the century mark here. We still need some good starch production. We're gonna need a massive biodome again, which we can put off of this bot workshop. That's fine. I mean, actually, I suppose a redundant connection here wouldn't be a bad thing. Because if I put it off of here, it'll go off of the oxygen, which will make it only a little bit far away from the storage. So, yeah, a redundant connection will be worth it. Oh no! Our carry bots are starting to break down, but again, just out of normal wear and tear, not out of not due to electro frying. And yep, this one got all nice and filled. It's not even being touched. Well, I have a feeling it's going to be tapped into soon. Yeah, this one's going to go, then that'll go. And yeah, you guys are building more carry bots. Good. Power start. Yeah. Alright, yeah, we got... Yeah, bioplastic is now our bottleneck. So buying that extra starch is definitely a good thing, and if anyone else comes selling bioplastic or starch, I will be buying it. Alright, good, more engineers. Alright, we're going to change focus here and pop back over to biologists, because we're going to need them, because we're going to be doing some higher intensity farming. Oh, we'll be fine. Keep your pants on. All right, good. You're building the redundant connection. Very good. All right, let's go plan out that massive farm. Where was that point where it would connect up to there? I saw a brief flash of that because I want it. Oop, 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 oop. Come on, come on. I know you can hook up to that oxygen producer, because that's where I want you to hook up to. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Oop, oop. Yeah! Gotcha! Beautiful. That's exactly what I wanted. And it'll be pretty easy to bring resources out to it. Now, granted, it might not be built for a while, and we're gonna be lagging on bioplastic for a bit, because even once it gets built, it's yeah, we're starting to lose bots, but that's okay. It's been good runs, and we're making them faster than they're breaking, so I think we're in good shape. And of course, all the metal's coming out there, no problem. Once we get this up and running, I think we might do our monolith. Gah. How are we? Yeah, we have built up medicinal plants, so we don't need to worry too much about that. Come on, Mr. Lazy, you were asleep at the wheel there. That was a little close for comfort. Boy, these are all getting used up nicely. I almost want to say one of these to 10 robots might be a better ratio. Wow, 4 biologists. That's the first time. So yeah, I guess the larger colonist ships can actually bring larger number of colonists than 3. The most I've ever seen out of the little ships are 3. But this is the first time I've ever seen more than 3 come out of the large one. I guess we have really, really happy people. Well, that's good. We'll be able to deal with this pretty well. One person shy of the century mark. Fun. That's alright. They'll come. We have a happy base here. And heck, our multi-dome's actually starting to get used properly. Yeah, go on in there, visitors. Get your happiness without having to cost me food in the form of alcohol. How are we doing on juice? How are we doing on metal? We got plenty of metal. You know what? Just to allay things, and just because I want to see this beast built, let's get the Big McLarge solar panel. Just because. Just because. Wow, yeah, we almost ran out of power last night. We almost ran out of power. Oh, we cut it at 170. That's amazing. Which also means we probably want a another one of these babies. We got the metal for that. Alright, trading ship. Not you. Aha, you. Now, speaking of booze. Wow, we are out of food. So, you know what? Let's buy some food. I'm not going to buy the alcohol. We'll buy the food. While we wait for that. Because, yeah, I don't want to hit a food storage. A food shortage, rather. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, because if we're running low on food, we want a little stopgap until this biodome gets produced. That should be a good stopgap there. Yeah, you get a big conga line of people like ants. It's like ants. It's like reverse ants. Instead of taking little bits and pieces away from a single source, they're bringing it to it. Alright, 6 more bioplastic on our Big McLarge biodome, and obviously we're going to need the bioplastic to actually build the plants inside. But we'll do another delicious cycle, and we should be good there. If I get really desperate, I can cannibalize some beds from our new dorm for the extra bioplastic. Which I might actually end up doing, just to sort of kickstart the process. But I'll wait for the biodome proper to be built. Or not, actually. Let's start cannibalizing these. These can go back up, and we don't lose anything in the... We'll leave a couple of these up. That way we can get this biodome built a little bit faster, and we can ride out this little bump in resources pretty well. Oh yeah, big solar panels being built. Granted, it's a little bit late. And in fact, let's shut this down, because we got some new stuff built that is sucking power. At least I think it is. Yeah. Look at this baby. Big, massive solar panel. 110 kilowatts. Compared that to 80. So not bad. Now it is going to throw our ratio off a little bit. It's no longer going to be 1 to 1. We're going to need like 2 of these to 1 of these. But not quite. It's going to be like 1.5. I'll play it by ear. But we definitely need another power collector. You guys just grab that food. And yeah, we got all of our stuff for the biodome thanks to that little cannibalism. Constructor bot. Oh, constructor bot. Come hither. Come hither. Although I should stop relying on... Oh, he is actually coming hither. Well, thank you, constructor bot. Good job. About to say, like 1 constructor bot or 2 constructor bots in a base this size, the chances of them being near the thing being built goes lower and lower. All right, so that should stop this food shortage before it even becomes a food shortage, and that little delivery of food from that trader is definitely a very welcome stopgap. The reason I bought the raw food and meat rather than the actual finished meals is because those finished meals are guaranteed to be basic meals. They're basic meals, period. It doesn't matter what foods you have available. They're just a ready-made MRE basic meal, and the fewer of those I feed my people, the better, because the less chance it's going to cause malnutrition. So buying the raw food gives them the chance to combine with other foods that I've produced in the colony to make complex meals. All right, are you going to be our hero constructor bot and build that connection for me? I think you are. Yes, you are. And we got a ship landing. Colony ship. Looks like we're going to hit the century mark here. Unless we get intruders. Century, it's not intruders! Woohoo! Century! Your colony now has 100 citizens. So despite being knocked back to 4, and I got the moon base achievement, nice. Despite being knocked back to 4 citizens, back to our starting total, we are now at 100. 101 specific. Alright, let's start... let's start building ourselves some water before I start going crazy with this. We need some water extractor. Ooh, perfect placement right there. Yeah, we'll let this thing fill with oxygen. Alright, we're gonna go wheat. Actually, let's just double check this. Make sure let's just do a logic sanity check here. Meal maker's humming nicely. Alright, so tomatoes plus onions. Alright, tomatoes, onions, maize is salad. So the maize is the good starch for that. But we want to make sure tomatoes, onions, wheat plus tomatoes equals pasta. I'm not going to be making any mushrooms. But wheat does, yeah, that doesn't combine well. So we kind of want to stick with maize. We just want to make a lot of maize in order to keep our starch production high. So there is a significant difference between maize and all that. Now, rice plus mushrooms, tomatoes. My problem with mushrooms is there's not a GMO version of the mushroom, so it's going to throw our balances off once we start getting those patents. I do want to stick with just tomatoes and onions, plus these others. So you know what? I am going to stick with the maize, but we're just going to make a lot of maize to keep our starch production nice and healthy. There we go. 2 more full things of maize. And you know what? We're gonna make a whole section dedicated to rice patties, because we can't forget our Chinese food origins here. And here, yeah, to here we can get little column A. Well, actually, you know what? I'm gonna wait till they build the rice patties and maize plants first before I put down non-starchy stuff, because we want the starch flowing. What do we got over here? Bots. Here's our bot patent. 65 commission. Gosh darn you. Well, you know what? I don't want to keep passing this up, and I'm just going to pay cash for it. And if our constructor bots break down, so be it. This is actually a cheap patent compared to the amount of coins we've gotten. It's an instant trade. There, we picked up the patent. I'm not going to mass manufacture them, but if one of them starts breaking down, then I'll just make one of my bot workshops make a replacement. Alright, we might run out of juice. That's okay. Got our extra water going here. Good job. And yeah, with this colossal solar panel plus the extra collector here, I think we'll be okay. Good thing we turned this off, though. And it slows down and stops. Ha! Just enough power. Love it. Love it a lot. And yeah, if they start with the rice patties, then we'll really be feeling the delicious cycle. Ooh, what's next over here? This is a pretty busy pad here. More biologists. Lovely! Yeah, people are coming here in droves now. Good thing we're making them the extra food. And good thing we pre-made a bunch of extra oxygen. Once all these are built out, then I'll restock the dorm. Now, let me just remind myself here. I know I keep checking the meal makers, but I just want to make sure I get the recipes right. What else does rice do for rice plus the meats? Rice plus mushrooms plus tomatoes. You know, wheat plus mushrooms. Well, we don't have the wheat. What about mushrooms, tomatoes? Tomatoes plus onions plus maize. Tomatoes, potatoes. So yeah, that would just be a very specific recipe, not really worth going into mushrooms for. Yeah, that was kind of annoying. I apologize. I think we're just gonna do a couple tomato, like 2 tomatoes, 3 onions. Keep the ratios up there, and those will just balloon in. All right, good. Some real visitors, always good. How are we doing on our material supplies? Yeah, we still need that. I'm not going to turn on the semiconductor factory until we're stabilized with our bioplastic production. Do I want all this maize or do I want this wheat? You know, it would be really good as wheat. Because maize is kind of wasteful. I'm going to keep the maize plants there, but we're going to make this wheat here, and then we'll make this 3rd tier tomatoes. Because we can go GM tomatoes and get plenty of complex dishes out of the deal. Oh heck, we'll do one of each. We'll do one thing of we'll do one quarter of rice, 1 quarter of wheat, 1 quarter of maize, and then this 4th one will be a grab bag. We'll make you tomatoes. Not going to bother with the mushrooms, but yeah, 2 tomatoes. And 1, 2, 3 onions, and last but not least, medicinal plants. Beautiful! Beautiful! I like it. I like it a lot. That should keep our starch production flowing quite healthily. These biologists are circling like, give us more plants to tend. Which reminds me, I probably have more than enough biologists for the moment. Let's get some more workers going. Our worker population seems to be a little low, and I bet you a few more workers would give us 100% production here on the bioplastic and others. Did I swap that just in time for workers? Yes, I did. Ha! Their jobs literally changed as they were landing. It's like, we were supposed to be biologists. No, now we're workers. That's not what I went to college for. Yep, metal's building up, so we got plenty of metal production, and we just need the extra starch. But we'll be getting the extra starch. And then, actually, with that shipment of workers... Alright, good. Wheat pad's been built. These things should start kicking out fairly soon. At which point we'll get ourselves a nice burst of starch. Medical supplies building up nicely. Yeah, a lot of idle people. Just a lot of idle people. I'd love to give you guys something to do with the semiconductor factory, but not so much. Not right now. Alright, what's our percentages here? Radio antenna. It's because we need more workers here. But as we get more and more carry bots, the people will be freed up to do their diligence duties. Alright, let's see. Oh, I just realized this episode's been going really, really long. So let's cut it here. And we'll see you in the next episode. So if you like this episode and want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. Your feedback is always welcome. So until next time, this has been Pinstar signing out. See ya!